Saturday, the 4th of November, 2023, Eastern Time. It's just gone 11 minutes past midday. How is your weekend going? And it's weird. I was explaining to somebody the other day that the significance of the 5th of November, from where I'm from in the UK, is what hasn't really translated across to America. I will get to the subject we're talking about in a moment, but in England, on the 5th of November and also the 4th of November, because it's the weekend, we have a thing called Guy Fawkes Night, okay, which is when we let off fireworks and we put an effigy on the top of a bonfire and set light to it. Now, I was explaining this to somebody, and they were quite shocked. It's quite dark. I said, no, it's a tradition. And they said, who is the effigy of? And I said, it's normally somebody who is in the news, who isn't particularly popular and is quite annoyed. And it's really weird because straight away they said, oh, so that means somebody like Trump could be the guy, could be the burning effigy. And I said, well, yeah, he has been known to be on top of a pile of fire from time to time. And it's strange. This is one of the things that has never crossed the pond to America. There's no Guy Fawkes. There's no let's burn an effigy. If there was, here we so have to be careful here. If there was, I'm just thinking, who would you have? Yeah, there's probably quite a few suggestions and nominations. Penny for the guy. That's what it's called. Anyway, look, to the subject in hand, all right? And Lauren Bobert. It's the worst impression you ever see anyone do of Lauren Bobert. She does speak like that, and it should be Lauren Bobert with her hand. This is a bit impressive of Lauren Bobert. Lauren had your Bobert. Lauren Bobert has a few problems. She really does. It's not me making it up. Lauren Bobert is facing a bit of a, should we call it, inter-party issue. Yeah? Within her own party, they want her out. It's not, yeah, it's unbelievable. And if you think about it, where we are at the moment, so the Republican Party is kind of fragmented left, right, and center. Well, or MAGA. You have those who line up under the banner of Trump. And I have no idea what that banner actually is. I just don't. How's it work? Is it just anything which is hate? Well, that will work. You know, if we're going to go for hate, we make sure that is the banner which we align ourselves when it comes to Trump. But seriously, so you've got the Trump banner. You've got perhaps, I don't know. What other banners are there? Because Mitt Romney has decided to jog off. So then you have Liz Cheney. Now, where actually is Liz Cheney in all of this? Because the reason this is so interesting is if it's a situation that Lauren Bobert and Marjorie Taylor Greene are the norm, and a while back, we thought they were a little bit cuckoo, a little bit crazy. What the heck is happening that now Boebert and Marjorie are seen as extreme? That is just crazy. It is. Let me just read you the story because I'm not joking about Lauren Bobert potentially being booted. Let me read you the report. All right. Lauren Bobert, who barely held a seat in the US House of Representatives in the 2020 midterms, may not survive the 2024 GOP primary as key Republicans in the state who formerly backed her flip their allegiance to a challenger who doesn't have near the political and personal baggage she does. I thought it was just a hand job that Boebert has a problem with. But again, Does that ring an alarm bell? Or if you had a choice right now, see, before we carry on, my personal opinion is, if you ask me straight, would you boot Lauren Bobert out of politics? Nothing to do with freedom of speech, nothing to do with First Amendment, etc. The answer would be yes. All right. If you had a choice, would you boot Lauren Bobert out of politics? In fact, let me just type that there. Yes or no, would you boot? You can answer in the comment section as well below. Boebert, 1 second, let's get this right. From politics. Yes or no? That's a question. And let's put it up there. So, yes or no, would you boot Lauren Bobert out of politics? Because what's been her contribution, apart from giving us clown headlines? Anyway, let's go back to it. According to the report from the New York Times, the controversial lawmaker from Colorado is struggling to hang on to supporters after her well-publicized groping and vaping incident with a date got her thrown out of the play Beetlejuice in September. For some people, the mere thought of Boebert groping and vaping is probably the third word to be puking, because it's just like, oh, it's one of those images, once you've got in your head, it's a little bit difficult to remove. Well, I think it is anyway. Let me go on with this report. By the way, the channel is Tony Doughty 24/7 Eyes. We are totally live on a Saturday. Let's get the rest of this up. It was the Times reporter Charlie Holman who's written the story. The scandal of the evening and her subsequent attempts to lie about what happened remain sticky. Sorry. Oh, dear. So the scandal of the evening of Boebert giving somebody a hand job in vaping, which is a bit sticky, to say the least. I don't think it was a happy finish. Anyway, for the two team members of the House and back in Colorado's 3rd Congressional District, it's too much. They can't handle it. Nor could she, by the way. Lauren Bobert couldn't handle the job at hand. Key allies have switched their endorsements to businessman Jeff Hurd. So this is just where we are within the Republican Party right now. Boebert is, well, that was yesterday's story. They can't handle it. They would like somebody who's probably even more extreme, even more dumb, even more, I won't use the word stupid. It's an insult to stupid. Let me carry on with the report, which is, as I said, it's in the New York Times, this report. Mr. Hurd's candidacy has become a vessel for Republican discontent with the perceived excesses of the party's MAGA wing. His backers include old guard parties such as former Governor Bill Owens, former Senator Hank Brown, and Pete Coors, the brewery bigwig. And he's also a former Trump fundraiser who will soon be offering his endorsement, according to Mr. Hurd's campaign. According to the report, Boebert's antiques and scandals have left her wounded. Straight question, yes or no, would you boot Lauren Bobert from politics? It's just a yes or no. Can we get at least 2 answers? Yes or no, would you boot Lauren Bobert from politics? Republican Bobby Daniel, a Messer County commissioner who backed Boebert in 2020, sounded the alarm, telling the Times, "We all know what happened last cycle. There wasn't a lot of room for error." Now, here's the situation with that. Lauren Bobert actually came close to being booted. It wasn't like she was, there we go. You remember? Sorry, a really bad picture of her. It wasn't like she had a great opportunity to do anything. She was on her way out. I think it was it was, what was it? 4 or 7 votes be denied. We got a no from Michael Junkin. Thank you. It was 4 or 7 votes, I think, that was in it between Lauren Bobert actually getting out of it. Maybe it's 300 or 200, but it wasn't that much. But it comes down to it. And in case you haven't seen this particular scenario that has caused Lauren Bobert to face being booted, there we are, 30 seconds of a hand job. If you can see the hand action, it's going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There you go. Apparently that's what you do when you go and see Beetlejuice. Who knew? Now, the reason we mention Liz Cheney, because I would say right now, Liz Cheney is the only person who has a probably national figure who's in a position really to challenge all of the crazes, to stand up to Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let me just go through the list actually, because it used to be there was just a few crazes, but now it's a bit like they're all having a go, because you would put, where was it? Let's get up here. I actually had it here before actually. All the people. Let me just 1 second. Bear with me. I'm just going to put in Liz Cheney here because I wanted to get exactly what's going on. Of course, his results for Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney, you will recall, stood up for the. Oh, we got another yes. Yes or no? Would you boot Boebert from politics? That is it. Now, the reason we do this, by the way, and we'll get into Liz Cheney in a moment, is because we know this is how it works in Washington. They are uber paranoid. Like, you mention their name, and they have researchers that check what did they say on that channel. What were they saying about Lauren Bobert? So somebody in Boebert's office will be, hello, will be looking at this, and they will see that, wow, they were having a discussion. And I'm not influencing it, by the way. I'm not. Well, just answer your question. Do you want me to stay or do you want me to go? That's all I want to know. We have 3. Can we get to 10? Yeah, or 5? All right. Just a yes or no. If you're on your phone, all you've got to do is click Y or click no and press return. Would you like Boebert booted from politics? Because this is what I suspect will happen is the Republican Party obviously think that Boebert is some like of flag waving person for them. So even if her local party deselect her or deselect her, to say the proper word, she'll probably turn up on Fox News like Katie McEnany, because her media appearances are getting more and more and more. Does anybody know, by the way, anything Lauren Bobert has done and completed? Because she didn't complete the hand job in Beetlejuice. If you're in Colorado, I would love the insider information. If you know anyone who lives in Colorado, the detailed information on what Lauren Bobert has achieved. But anyway, back to Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney of recent has said quite a lot of things. But I think it's particularly with regard what she's had to say about the speaker. And the thing is, it's quite difficult with Liz Cheney because you've got to go back to before January the 6th, when Liz Cheney, perhaps her policies, her thoughts and things that she wanted to have as policy were they were on the right of a lot of the MAGA Trumpy Trumps. But obviously Jan 6 came along and she decided to stand up for the truth. But it comes down to one thing. With this 2024 election, what side is Liz Cheney actually going to be on? So right now, the front runner appears to be a former guy. So does she endorse President Biden? Or say it's Nikki Haley? I know. That probably isn't going to happen. We'll take the outside possibility. We'll just take the outside possibility that Nikki Haley gets that position. Yeah. So is Liz Cheney going to align herself with Nikki Haley, or is she going to align herself with President Biden? Because really, if she wanted to do anything about the state of the Republican Party, I think she would come out swinging. At the moment, she is not doing that. She isn't. She's kind of letting it, if you ever been on a boat and you're just merrily going along with the tide, and from time to time, a big wave comes in and she says something, because in my opinion, sitting on the fence. Even with the speaker, right? This Johnson guy said quite a few things and is trying to, he's obviously got somebody at Fox News on his side. They're trying to cover up all the homophobic, disgusting things that he has said. Liz Cheney has rallied back, but not really. Yeah. Same with her thoughts of Trump. To me, it's almost like candy floss. If she really believed in it, why is Liz Cheney not running? Yeah. Why is Liz Cheney not putting herself forward as a candidate for the 2024 election, whether as an independent? That is the question. Okay. If it's Boebert versus Cheney, I think, all right, I'll just throw this out there. I could be wrong. If you had to choose between Boebert and Cheney, who would you choose? Let me just type that there because that helps us get to the next part of the conversation. Channel is Tony Doherty 24/7 Eyes. We're just having our daily little natter about, obviously I'm a Brit from the outside looking in, just our daily talk about what's going on within the American political scenario and environment. Feel free to drop out and drop back in. It's just me giving my thoughts and reactions. And here we are on a Saturday. It's totally live, 27 minutes past midday Eastern time. But let me put this question up here. Type it in. Bear with me 1 second. Who would you push from the boat first? Liz Cheney. Oh, they got a life jacket, by the way, before anyone says you're being a little bit nasty. Well, there you go. It's just a joke. 1 second. I can't spell capital L. 1 second. Capital L. Have I spelled her name wrong? Probably. There we go. Okay. Here's a question. And it's politically incorrect, but I don't care. Who would you push from the boat for the boot? Who would you push for the boat first, Liz Cheney or Lauren Bobert? Because I'm just trying to work out at the moment in terms of where we are from the outside looking in. So you're from the outside looking into the Republican Party, and I'm from the outside looking into the whole ethos. You may well be a Republican, by the way. If you are, that helps us get to an answer. Who would you push from the boat first, Liz Cheney or Lauren Bobert? Now, you may think all of this is just me tittle-tattling away on a Saturday. It doesn't affect you. But it actually does, because Boebert sits on different hearings, is helping shape policy. All right. This is the person who has, I think she has a teenage son who got somebody pregnant. The cops have been called on her. She's had affairs, all types of questions. While there have been fiscal questions raised with regards to Lauren Boebert's businesses. All right. So this isn't something that is just swept under the carpet. This isn't something we say, oh, she's just one of the crazies. It's like with Matt Gaetz. It's kind of pushed to one side, and that is wrong. There is something intrinsically questionable about everything to do with Lauren Bobert. Like everything. Okay? It's not just one thing. Every single subject you could name with Lauren Bobert, the questions have to be asked. And there are questions of Liz Cheney as well, because Liz Cheney has got to stop playing politics, because that's what's going on. You got Boebert and her guns. I mean, why? Excuse me. Why does anybody take anything Lauren Boebert's got to say seriously? Sorry. Oh, dear. This is why I just love talking freestyle. I got no script. It's just me and you taking part. And sometimes we go to social media to get some memes and jokes. So the question, as you can see there, is who would you push for the vote first, Liz Cheney or Lauren Bobert? And can I give you Michael? Thank you. Michael has given us a great laugh for us today. They would hold hands simultaneously, because I suppose there are certain things you can't say, supposedly. Like, you have to be very careful when you're talking about Israel, Palestine, supposedly. And Liz Cheney hasn't suddenly got a cloak of perfection around her. She stood up for the truth, but Liz Cheney has a questionable background. She really does. So this level of let's suddenly forgive Liz Cheney and have her as the second Messiah, I don't think so. Because you could even say to get to Lauren Bobert, maybe you went from, where is it? Liz Cheney, who's the lady in Alaska? Maybe you can easily go from Liz Cheney, Sarah. I can't think of Sarah's surname. Sarah, who is the lady who is in Alaska who can see the moose from her window? Somebody help me out. Sarah, is it Sarah Palin? I think it's Sarah Palin. You go from Liz Cheney to Sarah Palin to Marjorie Taylor Clown to Lauren Bobert. Do you get what I mean? They are all part of the same package. It's like a bar of chocolate, different parts of the bar. Maybe one's a bit darker, one's a bit lighter, if you get my drift. So this thing that Cheney is seen as maybe a more moderate, well, at the moment, she's seen, as far as I'm concerned, in exactly the same shoes as the rest of them. Whether it's DeSantis, whether it's Trump, whether it's Tim Scott, right? Liz Cheney is part of that. Do not be fooled in thinking she isn't. Because if she really wanted to rescue the Republican Party, she could do it. She's got the money, she's got the funds, she's got the name. All right, she issues statements. She's actually issued a statement saying that, well, there's nothing we don't know. I'll go through the list. Matt Gaetz, crazy. Ted Cruz, crazy. Paul Gosar, crazy. Marjorie Taylor Greene, crazy. Do you understand what I mean? That's where Cheney is. Issues statements, but doesn't do anything about it. Do you know what I would call Liz Cheney right now? A good clout chaser. Clout's an old-fashioned word. There used to be a website called Clout where you put the details in and see what level of importance you had in social media. Some people scored 1, others got 2, etc., etc. So that term where people are trying to get attention on social media is now referred to as clout. Yeah, and that's all Liz Cheney really has done. It's clout. Anyway, let's go back to Boebert. And all I wanted to do is, it's Saturday. One thing we do is see if there's any good new memes with so as you may know, the weirdest thing is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Bobert are having a bit of a tete-a-tete. Can't stand each other. 2 clowns in one circus. 2 bits of pigeon poo stuck in the street. Like and like. However, who is Marjorie Taylor Greene to have a go at Lauren Bobert, you may think? Well, there we go. Can you read that? I'll hold it up for a while and I'll read it to you what it says. Okay. My husband divorced me because I slept with my weightlifting coach. There we go. Because, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene considers herself above. What is this? Do you know, it's really weird. What's this all about? What's that really all about? Look at there. Stefanek and Boebert, who clearly can't stand each other. That is a real picture that's taken. Can you just see there? What is that body language actually saying? It's like anything for power. Like anything for power that they're attempting to do. And see if there's any other... what's this one say? I'm tired of... well... here's a naughty one. Sorry, we're just putting up memes that we found. I read what it says and I put it. I'm tired of Democrats grooming our kids with their sinful drag shows. And Boebert saying, now excuse me as I jerk off my boyfriend in the middle of a crowded theatre. There we go. And that's what it is. It is the gross hypocrisy, contradiction. That's what Boebert is. So if they are going to boot her, well, this should have happened a long time ago. You actually ask yourself, how did she slip into the jet stream in the first place? You know, how did it even work? Just say, look, this is a representative. This got a problem right now. I'll go for the list. What's it going to be? You got a problem with housing. Okay. So you get in touch with your local representative. This is the person here. You're going to tell your kids, yeah, she's going to help us out. Rambo wannabe. Grambo. I'm sorry. I'll call it a Rambo wannabe. I've just got the joke. Lauren Bobert. Anyway, Grambo. But we can carry on. Right? And here again, well, I think it was last night alone, there was another mass shooting. I think it was in Cincinnati, Ohio. 6 kids ended up in hospital. One, as when I last checked, was dead. It could be I haven't been able to update myself today, but this is Boebert. That's what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? Right there. That's not a representative. This is not me having a go at somebody because they're a Republican. Is that the best? Is that the best? I'm going to go back to our original question. Just a yes or no. Yeah? Would you boot Lauren Bobert from politics? It's not a difficult question, is it? Really is not a difficult question. I can't, some of these things. What's that show? Are you smarter than a plank of wood? That's basically where we go. And if it was a choice between a plank of wood and Lauren Bobert, I tend to think the plank of wood would win. Maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe I am the Brit that doesn't know anything about what's going on in the world. And where is Kevin McCarthy these days? Where is Kevin McCarthy in all of this? What's he got to say? That sums it up. Does anybody know, by the way, did Lauren Bobert go to an establishment of further education? It's not to knock anybody who hasn't. I'm just trying to work out what her qualifications were. In fact, I'm just going to do this. We know a bit about Liz Cheney. Let me see if I can go. I'll go on to Google. I would actually like to know, before we conclude today's debate, Lauren Bobert, educational achievements, education. Lauren Bobert, education, because if they are going to replace her, the question has to be, how did she get there in the first place? That's all they really want to be. All right, we have it here. Lauren Bobert's educational background. All right. Let's see. Did she do anything? We're going to get to the main part of it. Yeah. Last year, blah, 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 fact checking. Okay. Boebert attended Rifle High School, but was a new mother at the time. Really? She says, I went to high school. I was a brand new mum and I had to make hard decisions on successfully raising my child or get into high school biology class. And I chose to take care of my child. I didn't go through the typical education. I was a great student. I had great grades. I loved being there, but I was starting my family and they had different priorities. Isn't that like the Trump school of self-flagellation, self-propping yourself up, self-telling the world how brilliant you are when the facts say something different? I repeat, this is what Lauren Bobert, we're doing Lauren Bobert's background, her education. I didn't go through the typical education course. I was a great student. I had great grades. I loved being there, but I was starting my family and had different priorities. Although Lauren Bobert didn't take the traditional route in the educational department, she has quite a political background behind her. She's also an ex-office steering member of the Republican Study Committee. She's also an active member of the House Freedom Caucus and co-chair of the Congressional Second Amendment Caucus. Prior to her 2020 victory, Boebert had never held public office. So from that, and that is a serious look into her background, you ask the question, how and why did Lauren Boebert ever get to be in her position in the first place? It is a very straightforward question. And the reason I'm saying that Liz Cheney has sat and done nothing, because Liz Cheney can quite easily finish the careers of Marjorie Taylor, Lauren Bobert. Simple. Literally, she could do a round of TV, cable news stations for the next 2 weeks, repeating herself. Lauren Boebert's bad for the Republican Party. Marjorie Taylor Greene's bad for the Republican Party. I would like to stand. Okay, because right now you have a situation, if you're Liz Cheney, even Tim Scott's making you look particularly bad. And that's saying something. The guy that hates mirrors, Tim Scott, or at least he's putting his excuse for a brain. He's going for it. He's standing for election, or he's standing for election within the Republican Party. But how come Cheney's not stood up to Boebert? Because Boebert didn't even get an education. So, in the comment section below, I do wish you a good Saturday. Channel is Tony Doughty 24/7 eyes. We're going to scoot. We do our daily little chat every day. Just answer the question. Yes or no, would you boot Lauren Bobert from politics? Have a nice Saturday.